Hello everybody. I would like to ask everybody to please watch to the end of this video. This is probably the most serious video I've ever made. I've actually made notes. I've never made notes before because I don't want to forget anything. This is about what happens when you get injured on the job and what to expect and how to protect yourself, what to do if you get injured. I've been injured twice on company jobs, and it's not a picnic. First of all, never put your health and safety in danger for no company. If the company asks you to do something that you don't feel is safe, just say no. If they fire you, they fire you. Big whip. There's other jobs. If you get injured or killed on a job, that's from now on. There ain't no coming back. You're injured or you're dead, one of the two. Do not put yourself in harm's way for any company. I don't care what they're trying to get you to do. I've had companies make me sit through hours of safety classes telling me not to do this and not to do that. And as soon as I get on the job, I tell them, well, we're at this situation you said not to do. Well, you got to do what you got to do. They don't care. They'll give you a safety class to cover their butt. It don't mean they care or they just want you to do the job. And I was dumb enough to do it. So, I've been through so many safety training classes and stuff, and that's all a company safety class is for, is so that they can sit back and say, well, we told you not to do that. It don't matter what goes on the job, they want you to get the work done. Just say no. If they fire you, they fire you. I mean, there ain't nothing you can do about it. There's other jobs, And I'm telling you, the fear of being fired or not being liked on the job is one of the fears they play on. They will try to get you to do things unsafe or illegal. I've had companies trying to get me to do illegal things, unsafe things. The company don't care about you. They're just trying to make money. They're trying to put something in their back pocket. Sorry for that interruption. I had to get me a marker so I could cross these things off as I cover them. Because I'm serious. I do not want to miss anything here. The things I've learned the hard way. If you do get injured on a job, what to expect from the company? They're not going to help you. They'll say, they'll come up with all kinds of excuses. If you got hurt yesterday and you go in and tell them today that you got hurt, well, you should have told me yesterday. I can't do nothing now. That's a lie. You have 30 days by law to turn in a workman's comp claim that you've been injured. They will lie and tell you, oh no, we can't do nothing because you should have told us right then. That's bull. Some injuries aren't evident instantly. Like if you break your arm, you know it's broke right then. It's broke. If you strain your back, you might think it's all just a pulled muscle, but it may not materialize to how bad it is for a couple of days, especially if you continue to go to work. Then you'll know. So when they tell you all these things, it's all lies. They will lie to you and lie to you and lie to you. I had some of my tools on the job when I got injured, and I just asked them, hey, would you, called my supervisor and said, would you at least put my tools somewhere where I could get them eventually? Oh yeah, I'll gather them up. I talked to some of the other men at work months later, and my tools are still laying out there. I shouldn't even had my tools on their job, but I'm just trying to do, I've always, when I worked, I lay it on the line. That's my mistake. I use my tools, my, abilities, anything I got. If I can get the job done, I'll do it. And that was my mistake. If they don't have the proper tools, you tell them to get the proper tools or you can't do the job. You know, but but what to expect from the company if you get injured? Nothing but lies. If you have a legit job in America, you're more likely paying workman's compensation. Don't expect anything from them. That is an insurance that you're paying for from the time you get your first job to the time you retire, and don't ever expect anything from workman's compensation. They'll come up with all kinds of excuses that you're not hurt or one thing or another. They're not going to pay you. That brings me to one of the first things you should do once you find out you are injured and you go to a lawyer, a doctor, and a doctor tells you you are injured, call you a lawyer. And I can't give you the best advice on there. I called one of those TV lawyers, and it's been 2 years now, and they ain't solved nothing for me yet. So ask around, try to find the best lawyer you can get. Lawyers ain't much better than the companies. Okay, on a workman's comp case, the way a lawyer works, he gets my lawyer gets 25% of all the back pay workman comps owes me. Well, if he had settled this a month after I got injured, he wouldn't get much money. Now, if he waits 5 years from the time I got injured and he gets a settlement, well, he gets 25% of that too. So that's a whole lot more money. And it's no skin off his back just to let it ride and ride and ride, So the longer it takes for your lawyer to settle it, the more money he makes. So you got to be aware of that. But you do need a lawyer because you're not going to get anywhere with workman's comp or your company. They're going to cover their butt and screw you over. Let me mark that off. And your company bosses and supervisors, they'll tell you how they're going to work with you and they'll help you out, and no, they're not. They're going to cover their butt. If a supervisor tells the bosses up the ladder that you got injured on a job, they're going to look at him, well, why'd he get injured on the job? So he's going to make up every excuse he can to save his butt so that he don't get in trouble. Even if he's not planning on staying with that company, it'll be on his record that someone got injured underneath him. So he's going to lie about it. He's going to make up all kinds of fibs. So don't trust nobody. Even the other workers that work there, they're scared to death of losing their job, so therefore they're not going to say anything to help you. Even if they seen you when you got injured, they're not going to say nothing. They're going to cover their butt. They want to save their job. So don't expect any help from anybody if you get injured. That falls back into do not put yourself in a health or injury position. I'm talking about health like breathing in asbestos or something, or injury as in getting on a piece of equipment or something and getting hurt. Either way, don't put yourself in that position. Now, one of the things that I think should happen, if I had any pull with the government, I would be in Washington, D.C. right now. And in fact, it ain't even just about workman's comp insurance. It's all insurance companies. I hear about all these people down in Florida that's had house insurance, and now that a hurricane come through, the insurance don't want to pay. Same way with your workman's comp insurance or your medical insurance. Medical insurance ain't quite as bad, but make sure you do have medical insurance on the job, preferably not through the company. Have your own insurance. I don't trust anything to do with company anymore. Insurances, workman's comps, the company itself, don't put your trust in them. But if I had any kind of pull, governmental pull, and this is something I noticed, I kept waiting to hear during this presidential debates and all, that they're gonna clean up the insurance companies, the way they lie and cheat and screw people over. I ain't heard a word about it. That's not high on their priority list. But for people like me, or you if you've been injured on a job, it is important. I'll give you a scenario I was told one time. When I first got out of high school, I got a job developing film, like the old 35 millimeter 110 camera rolls of film. And we would get anywhere from 10,000 to 17, 20,000 rolls of film to develop every night. And the guy said, if you mess up a roll of film, 1 out of 20,000 don't seem bad. But that one person that sent that roll of film in, it's a big deal. Get the scenario, if it's you. So I don't know how many people, I don't have the statistics of how many people get injured on a job every year. I'm just telling you from my perspective and my experience to watch yourself, be careful. If I had some pull in the government, I'd be up there yelling and screaming, trying to get somebody to do something about these insurance companies and workman's comp screwing people over. But it ain't happened. But I got injured in 2001, and I think after years and years, I got $1,400 from workman's comp. I got hurt again 2 years ago. I ain't got nothing from workman's comp. One of the things you should do as soon as you get injured, and you know that you're really injured, is file for disability and disability insurance. At least cause if you have insurance through a company, as soon as you're not able to work and pay that money that comes out of your check every week, that council ends. That insurance ends. So that's why I would say have your own insurance. The last day I worked when I got injured was March the 26th. My insurance counseled me March the 30th. Well, I went to the doctor on April the 6th, I believe it was. I had to pay for it. Insurance did not cover it. And luckily I did call disability and filed for disability and insurance. And by the end of April, they started picking up the tab on my, I had Medicaid, I got Medicaid. And they did start picking up the tab on the doctors after that. But all those doctors at the beginning of April, when I first got hurt and started going to doctors, they didn't cover. Neither did the company insurance that I've been paying while I was working. I mean, heck, they hear you got hurt, they're itching to drop you because they don't want to pay out on a claim. So now we're getting to the part where this is going to be the difficult part for everybody. If you're working in America, you should be ready. Whether you get hurt, or you get fired, or you decide the company's not safe to work there and you quit, you need to be ready. And that falls under the guidance of live below your means. Now, I know times are hard and it's hard to make a living, but you should split your budget up. Here's what you live on. Here's some savings in case for an emergency you need to go to the doctor or something, you wreck your vehicle and you need to fix it. You need some emergency money. Then you need to have a third category where it's super emergency money. Money that's hard to get to. There's 1,000 different ways of doing it. You could buy gold bars. I would not buy gold and have somebody else hold it online or something. You want to buy gold or silver, you buy it in a bar and you have it at your house in a safe or something. I don't trust these things where they said you can buy it and they'll hold it for you. What if something happens? How you going to get to it? Or there's other things you can do. You can buy real estate or buy something, hopefully, that will not go down in value. Some land, even if it's a little bitty piece of land. Buy something that you think will go up in value, or at least stay the same value. I didn't do that, but I did do this, not intentionally. I'm kind of a handyman of sorts, so I had a lot of things. I had some diesel welders. I had an extra truck. I had one truck for work and one truck for a good truck, And I had a school bus. I had a bunch of things, a boat, a little small boat. But I had a lot of things, and when I got injured, I started putting them up for sale. That's the only income I had to survive on. Somebody told me to contact this, I ain't even going to say the religion, a religious group, that they had a charity thing that they could help me, out a little bit. I was literally laid up in bed, could not walk. It was just to get out of bed and go to the restroom or go take a shower. I was having to use a walker and just screaming in pain the whole time. I mean, this may sound bad, but I didn't even take a shower but every 3 days. I was hurt so bad. And I was basically living here alone, so I didn't have no help. And I tried not to even eat because it hurt so bad just to get up and go to the bathroom. I tried not eating. I didn't want to have to move. I laid flat on my back for almost a year. But I still had to pay a light bill, and I still had things I had to pay. A cell phone, I didn't have a lot. I couldn't afford a lot. I had to drop a lot of things, like Netflixes and stuff like that I couldn't afford. Anything I didn't have to have, I had to drop. And I sold off everything I owned just about to pay my bills for 2 years or a year and a half. After a year and a half, disability finally kicked in. I don't know how they expected me to survive for a year and a half, but but you hear people throughout the years, I've heard people say you should always save back uh, money to survive for 6 months in case you lose your job. You need to put back money for at least 2 years. Put, and that's what I'm talking about, buying the gold or buying the land, or if it's easy to reach, like just putting it in a bank and a savings account, it's hard for people to leave that alone. They'll find some reason they won't need to spend it. That's why I'm saying buy things that are hard, a little harder to get rid of. That way they can't just pull it out of the bank and go spend it. If you have extremely good willpower and can put money in the bank and leave it there, that's okay. But most people don't. But get yourself ready in case something happens. You may not get injured on a job. You may just get some kind of a sickness, and can't work. Have yourself ready. Put something back for an emergency. Like I said, disability took a year and a half. And then you hear all these sayings, well, they'll pay you back pay. Well, even if they did, you still got to survive until then. People ain't gonna sell you food or a mortgage or anything else on credit until workman's comp decides to kick in. And by the way, they don't pay you full back pay. I think they paid me 6 months back pay, and it took them a year and a half to approve it. And I reckon you'd call it like an emergency Medicaid insurance covering my doctor bills. When I got disability, which ain't a lot, they said I made $4 too much and canceled my insurance. I told them to keep $4 and let me keep insurance. I wasn't cured yet, but they wouldn't do it. They canceled my insurance. So right now I don't have insurance. If I get hurt or sick right now, I'm in a bind. I have applied for insurance recently, but I don't have it. I just pray to God nothing happens until I do get insurance. But you hear people say live within your means. No, you need to live below your means. You need to put money back for emergency, then you need to put money back for emergency. With that, I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all please heed my warning. When you get injured or sick or something, it's too late then. Do it now. Put some money back for an emergency. My dad told me when I was a young kid, you should always have an ace in the hole. I didn't understand what he meant at that time, but I do now. So, take care of yourself out there. God bless, and y'all have a good day.